You know that meme of Kylie Jenner that like 2013 or 2016, some year in that era, she's like, was the year of realizing things? I feel like this is that full moon because it's not particularly direct. It's not particularly like logical, but it does seem like a time of realizing things or noticing that you need to go back, redo, apologize, fix something. Expect sorries and edits. If you're excited to dive into what we can exactly expect from this full moon in Cancer, do make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. If you're new here, hi, I'm Maren. I'm a professional astrologer using traditional Hellenistic techniques. I offer courses, readings, and more offerings below, and I have a retreat coming up in June, which may potentially still have availability, so if you're interested in joining me in June to talk about astrology in Costa Rica, do make sure to check out the link down below. First, we're going to get into the overall vibe of this full moon, which is the first full moon of 2023. How exciting. Then we're going to get into how it's playing in the world leader relevant charts. It's not the most intense full moon for like pivotal world events, but I will say that it looks very relevant for some financial things, which could be of interest. And if you have not already seen your January predictions for your rising sign, make sure to check out the video for your particular month ahead down below. I make videos every month for every sign, so you can know how this full moon is showing up in your own life. So this is happening on January 6th, 2022. Yeah, January 6th, at 6:10 p.m. Eastern, and it's happening with the sun in the second decan of Capricorn and the moon in the second decan of Cancer. So the second decan of Capricorn is associated with the Three of Pentacles tarot card, also known as the Works card. It shows like a cathedral being built. Something is a work in progress of substantial labor, substantial effort. It is like you are climbing the ladder. So it often is representing being in progress or being in the work around something. And then the moon is in the second decan of Cancer, associated with the Three of Cups card, which is a pretty nice positive card. So the Three of Cups card is associated with a social dynamic or a social situation that is very mentally active. So it's not necessarily the most intimate or romantic card by any means, but it shows a high level of mental activity or a busy social dynamic. So with the sun in that part of Capricorn exactly conjunct Mercury retrograde opposing this moon, it looks like we are highlighting going back and fixing something. It is an aha moment of, oh my God, I need to go back and fix this. Oh my God, I need to go back and apologize. Oh my God, I have to go back and change something that I was working on in this long-term project or relationship that I am in. We're probably discussing or in the middle of thinking about something, and that is where the thought arises. Because of the placement of these decans, I am associating it more with having to, like in a social dynamic, go back and realize we need to fix something. It might be a relationship, it might be a project. The amount of emotional relevance for you will depend on your chart and the house that it's in for you. So it doesn't necessarily need to be super emotional, like I said, but with it in Cancer, it might be particularly like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I'm expecting apologies, even if apologies are not warranted. Side note, women, stop apologizing for things that are just minor actions in your day-to-day life. Do not apologize for having to walk by someone. Do not apologize for asking a question. Do not apologize for having to go in and say something. Like, fuck no, stop that shit. Let's stop the whatever. I have a lot of thoughts around women and communication where I'm just like, let's unlearn those things. That's one of them. But I had that same thing myself. Side note, don't be that person under this. If you have to apologize because you're like, oh yeah, I stole your car, I'm sorry. That's different than like, oh, I need to bring this up because I realize this is a problem in our relationship. Don't be fucking sorry for that. End of story. Anyway, full moons are times of energy being released or revealed. So for everyone, it's going to feel like a more emotional purging time of things coming to the surface. I would say some of the best use of this would be to like cry it out, air it out, get things off of your chest that maybe for your chart it's not quite as intense because you don't have placements around the middle degrees of Cancer or Capricorn, but it still feels like a time of letting go emotionally. I know last night I thought of a memory of the last time I was in Miami because I'm in Miami right now in the end of November, and the last time I was there obviously was a very intense time for me. If you know, you know. So I thought about it, I cried, then I was like, get back up. In a good way, I was like, get back up. Do you have your cry, take the pictures so you can see the cool, my eyes get very yellow when I cry. It's because I have like yellow-green eyes, they look very yellow. Anyway, let it out. If it's a time to let it out, just let it out. And the moon will sextile Uranus, and therefore the sun will trine Uranus. Positive aspects like the sextile with Uranus show an opportunity for suddenness or ingenuity. So it does look like a breakthrough. It looks like in a challenging way, it's very sudden, and there's a solution on the horizon. It does not look like the death or the dying of something. It looks like the, oh shit, we have to go back and fix this, of something you've been working on for a while. This full moon is not making really any challenging degree-based aspects, So I'm not expecting this to be a like do or die, very negative time. It might be emotional, but I do not think it's going to be a do or die. Like after eclipse season in November and then December being a little bit aggressive, I think that we might still have some lingering PTSD of just high stakes. This is not high stakes and this is not angry. It might be emotional, or it might be a little bit like attachment of like, oh my god, I really have to go back and fix all of this writing that I have to redo now. But it's not traumatic. It's not particularly challenging in and of itself. The sun and Mercury are about 10 degrees away from Pluto, so it's not too heavily psychologically intense, and there's not too heavily a feeling of like crisis around this. I like this full moon for project related purposes of deciding to revise or go back and look for problems, because you're likely going to have an aha moment of something that needs redoing or needs rewriting. This could also be a good time for your relationship to rethink anything happening with that. I know for me, this will be very close to my descendant, like ascendant, descendant. So I'm like, what close relationship could I be rethinking? It would have to be just like a friendship, because we out here, but anyway, I like it for redoing or revising things or saying sorry if you realize that you fucked up in any way. If you did steal someone's car, however, I would probably talk to the authorities, because that's probably beyond a sorry. That's just on my mind because I got a car rental when I was here and like they didn't show up to the airport and the owner was like, I don't know where my car is. The guy that's supposed to drop it off, I don't know where he is. I don't know where my vehicle is. So yeah, but like it was a little weird. Venus will also be trine Mars retrograde. So Venus and Mars trine in air signs is great for intellectual conversational energy that is more logical rather than super triggered. And with Mars retrograde being involved, it just highlights the going back energy that retrogrades can show of having to redo or go back in time. So if you have prominent placements like me around the middle degrees of the cardinal signs, shout out to us. We're probably going to have this more relevant in our charts, but even if you're not having this particularly personal in your own life, it will still be in your own chart in one area of your life in the background at least. So if you know the Cancer and Capricorn houses in your chart, feel free to comment down below any thoughts that you have about where this might be happening. So I'm only going to talk about 5 charts that this is really relevant for, because I don't see this being like a war-related chart or anything too intense. I think it's most relevant for the US, for Elon Musk, and for Twitter. So in the US chart, I expect this to be financially related because the US has a lot of planets in their Cancer 8th house of the market and of investing, and this full moon will be lighting up their axis of the 2nd and 8th house. So I think it'll be revealed that they have to financially restructure or redo something that maybe they had not spoken about before. So it does look financial, but not too challenging. It just looks like the revealing of restructuring or releasing information around it. Now for Elon Musk, I think this is going to be an important announcement time because the full moon will be on his natal Mercury, and even though I don't have the houses because I don't have his birth time confirmed, there's no confirmed reliable birth time for Elon. Having anything happen right on your Mercury is generally going to be communication, so I can't say the area of life, but I would expect some sort of a openness about a new announcement. And in the chart of Twitter, it's happening right on Twitter's lot of fortune. Anytime something happens on that lot of fortune, it's generally very fortunate or very good luck, you could say. So I think there will be a solution to a problem revealed because Venus will be approaching Twitter's Chiron, which in mundane charts often shows a weak spot or a vulnerability in the system. So with Venus, which is harmony, crossing Chiron, vulnerability, and this full moon being on the lot of fortune, looks like a bug or an issue with Twitter being revealed, and like Elon might be announcing it. So I'm expecting that around this full moon. For full moons in like the market, they're generally times that we dump into them and then the days following we pump out of them. So they're a local bottom, we dump down, we pump out of them. I think that with Venus crossing Bitcoin's Mercury, we do get a pump out of this even more than a dump into this, although anytime there's a full moon, I expect a dump. For ETH, I think the same, we dump into it and then pump out. I don't know how many more times I have to say that, so you get it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, do comment down below and also make sure to subscribe. Would be cool to have you join the Maren aerosols community. Cringe, but that's what we do. Enjoy this full moon, let it out if you need to, and I will see you in the next one. Hopefully my hair is not gross in like Miami humidity then.
Oh, but there is one.